Hey guys, what is up and welcome back to my channel. First of all, as always, if you're new here, please be sure to hit subscribe, go follow me on Instagram. Let's get into the video. Today's video, I recently realized that I haven't done like a Q&A type video probably since the year I started this channel, which was like almost 2 years ago. It was like the summer after I started it. I remember it, I got so many questions. I just decided why not do a more recent and up-to-date one, because I feel like obviously a lot like kind of changes in your life within 2 years. Do I look different? Probably not, but anyway, I'm gonna jump right into the questions. I actually really liked the questions that came in. They were very like thought-provoking, like kind of deep but not too deep like questions. So yeah, I'm gonna jump straight in. So I'm gonna start with some of the more lighter ones. Like none of them are like that deep that like you're gonna cry, but like I'll start with the lighter ones anyway. So someone said, how do you pose in pictures and take good pictures in general? So my first tip, if you want like a very aesthetically pleasing, like high quality Instagram, ditch your iPhone, unless obviously you have like an iPhone 11 or like you're someone who buys an iPhone every single time that there's a new iPhone, because the cameras deteriorate rapidly and I just don't think the picture quality is good on any phone really, not even just iPhones, even like Samsung and shit. Personally, I just feel like the pictures aren't as high quality as what you can get from a camera. And I'm not saying you need to go out and be doing like a professional photo shoot every time you do like an Instagram picture, like literally just before the camera that I'm using now, which is the G7X Mark II, it is amazing. So I've actually had a few people message me on Instagram to say like, have I got a new camera, and if so, like what one am I using? It is pretty pricey. I think they go for about 500-600, maybe a bit cheaper, I'm not really sure. My auntie works in Canon, so when I got mine for Christmas we were able to get a discount, but I have to say they're so worth it, other than the fact that the lens is very easily damageable. Anyway, but I'm gonna show you my old camera actually, which is the one I was always using before the one I have now. Also damaged that lens, like don't give me a fucking camera, like please. But this one is like a cheaper version of the G7X. It's actually really similar, like it still has like your little viewfinder and everything. So I would say if you want higher quality pictures but don't want to go and spend 600 euro on a camera, this is the SX730HS, really good. I took a good few pictures before Christmas on this. It takes really good pictures as well, like it be like a similar quality to the G7X, but I do think there is a difference. So there's loads of other cameras that you can get that would like take high quality pictures and stuff. Yeah, so I guess that's like, does that answer the question? How do you pose in pictures? I don't really know with that side to it. To that side, I don't know, I just go with what feels right. I guess also I've always watched shows like Britain's Next Top Model and America's Next Top Model. I don't know, I've always just, I feel like being absorbed in model culture because I've always been into fashion. Probably why I end up anorexic, but I guess now I just have watched. I also like follow a lot of people who pose really well on Instagram, so I don't know how to explain how I pose, but I guess it just takes practice as well. Like sometimes I look at pictures and I'm like, what the fuck was I doing, you know? So practice in front of your mirror, like put your camera on a self timer so that you can see yourself doing it. Like that would be my best advice, because like at the start of my Instagram especially, I like all my pictures were self-timer. Now I kind of get help with them from like my friends, my boyfriend or whatever, but I still do self-timer the odd time. So yeah, I know, practice with yourself. Yeah, no, I would say in terms of posing, it's just like doing it over and over again, and it feels so weird at first, but then you just get used to it. I think that answers that. In terms of like the take good pics part, I would say get a camera, get someone to help you take your pictures, because self-timer is the reason I've wanted to quit Instagram like a lot of times. So yeah, I think that answers that question. Biggest pet peeve. What is my biggest pet peeve? Fussy eaters. I don't know, do my head in, it's like grow. One of my biggest pet peeves actually, I hate when people don't listen to you and you can tell that they're not listening to you, and then, or like if they listen to half of what you have to say and then like speak over you, and it's just like a blatant like slap in the face to be like, I don't give a fuck what you're saying. And don't get me wrong, I feel like we can all be guilty of it. Like there'd be times where like say someone's in the middle of telling me something, I'm like, oh my god, yeah, no, but do you like something that relates? But then I'll be like, sorry, go back to what you were saying, because I just otherwise think it's like, okay, you don't give a fuck what I'm saying. So yeah, I think fussy eaters and people that talk over you, like I don't know, I think just rude people in general like get on my nerves. I'm like, it is so easy to not be rude, like why are you being fucking rude? That's that one. Someone said, how did you get invited to London Fashion Week? Were you noticed through your Instagram, or, and then it just says or, with some emojis. So it's actually really easy to go. Well, maybe not, I don't know, like I found it really easy. And basically how I went, it wasn't like I was brought with a brand or anything and got all the invites myself. So basically like a few weeks before every fashion week, and I'm pretty sure they do it for like all of them, there is a press list released of all the contacts for like all the PR people who are organizing the shows. It's a really long list. I spent about 4 hours one day like sending emails off to all of the people on the press list, and then I just got a good few invites back from that. I got a lot of no's as well, which is like bound to happen, but I'm sure there'll be one day I'll be in the front row of the shows I got no's for, you know, because full circle shit, this shit has to happen. But yeah, no, I just feel like you literally have nothing to lose sending off the emails. And when you send an email, you just kind of say who you are, what you do, and why you should attend London Fashion Week shows. I do think as well there's some shows that they have open to the public, but the tickets were like £135, like fuck that. And I don't even think you got to go to like any like exclusive shows or anything. It was just like some random ones. So yeah, I do think, yeah, once you have a reason to be there, like I just kind of said I worked in a vintage shop, I did Instagram, I did a bit of styling, this was my following, sent a link on my Instagram, like, and ba-bam, that was it really. And then obviously just said I'd be like creating content over the weekend and stuff as well. And yeah, that was how I went to Fashion Week. Hopefully I'll get to go to more in the future. I definitely think obviously I'll be going back to London, but I'd love to do some of the more international ones, like, oh, imagine New York Fashion Week, die, or like Milan or Paris, like again, just like one day manifest. Moving on, so I'll keep it kind of fashiony because we're there. Someone said, what is your favorite streetwear or casual brand to wear? Streetwear, I think my favorite streetwear on the runway at the minute is CDS, yeah, and I actually went to their shop in London. Amazing. I just watched their runway show today, so I feel like that's why they're very like fresh in my mind. I just think all the pieces are so fucking cool, but that's a bit inaccessible for me because it's probably a bit expensive. Other streetwear brands I love to wear, DB Burden, I went to their show in London, I was wearing one of their dresses, and they have sustainability as like a really big part of what they do and like their motives, so we love to see it. Streetwear brands, I like Palace as well. I feel like, would you count Ralph Lauren as a streetwear brand? Probably. I like Ralph Lauren. They're probably my like favorite streetwear brands to wear at the moment. Oh my god, this is like really hard right now. Oh, another one I love actually, and this is like a little bit more accessible than the likes of CDS. I love Jaded London. I think their pieces are really cool. They're quite expensive, like for everyday, like when you compare it to things like, you know, like ASOS or whatever, but also they're still like accessible. Other than those, I guess like just your average ones like Adidas, Nike, really like Fila as well, and they actually, I'm on their PR list now. Why? Because I've always liked Fila. So yeah, I think that's that for streetwear brands. Casual wear brands, I don't know. I don't really care for like branded casual wear. Like I do, I love a good tracksuit. Like to me, I'm kind of like, does that follow with streetwear? I don't know. I love like, I guess just like Adidas tracksuits and stuff, so I'm not really fussy when it comes to the casual wear. Someone said, how did you find your unique style? I guess, I think I've like mentioned this before. When I was about 15, 16, maybe younger, maybe like 14 or so, I think that was when I kind of like started like experimenting with clothes and stuff, and I would go to like flea markets, and I feel like vintage shops are only starting to pop up around Dublin then, but I was like, whoa, like I wanted to be really different when I was like that age. So Urban Outfitters and stuff was considered really indie at the time, and like if you shop there you were like indie, that was like a thing. So I just was like, okay, I'm gonna shop where no one else shops, and I like hated high street at the time because I just didn't want to be in clothes that everyone wore. So I think I just found my style from like experimenting through that. And then when I was like 16 and I got sick, I kind of gained like a fear of wearing what I wanted in case I was already known as like the anorexic girl. So I was like, okay, I can't be the anorexic girl that wears weird clothes. It's one or the other, bitch. So then it was only probably when I went to college then I kind of started to like find my love for clothes again and find my love for like not giving a shit what people thought of me. I feel like I was very like wrapped up in what people thought of me for a good chunk of my teenage years after my eating disorder, and then I just lost it and I like didn't care anymore. So I don't know, I guess just from like playing around with clothes, just like trying out different colors, different hairstyles, like that kind of thing. I guess also I was a huge Lady Gaga fan, so yeah, I think that's how I found it. I know, I was always inspired, like I always loved like art and like dancing and stuff as well, so I guess like all these different things kind of just like inspired me. And then like even, I know I used to put like sprinkles on my nails and stuff. Like I know I was very inspired by things around me, I guess you could say, and I guess I still am. So keeping it fashion related, someone said, who is your favorite designer? So I think my favorite designer at the moment is Kim Shoe Studio. I think that's how you say it. I'm just gonna get them up on Instagram. It's either Kim Shi or Kim Shoe. I don't know how you pronounce it. This is their Instagram. I'll pop a picture up properly here as well. So many celebs have worn this designer, but they're still pretty like low-key. They still only have like 91k on Instagram. I know that's a lot, but like for a designer. But they are New York based, like Kylie Jenner, and I'm pretty sure Kim Kardashian as well has worn their stuff, but oh, so nice. Like so many like gorge like sheer dresses and stuff. Absolutely just love them. Who else am I loving at the moment? Also love Ashish. I tried to go to their show in London as well, but like that just didn't really happen. Someone off like who I went to see in London, maybe Y Plus. I loved their show, and I loved Johan Koo as well, and Apujan. That show was gorgeous too. I'll leave some pictures in of all of those, but I don't know, Kim Shi I think is like my favorite. Oh, also Dion Lee, love their shows every year. I'm gonna move on question. Like I have so many designers I love, but I definitely think at the moment anyway, Kim Shi, love them. Okay, so moving on. Okay, so the next question, there's some kind of about like job and goals and things. So someone just said, what's your job? So I work in Nine Crows in Temple Bar. Well, I work between there and Mary Street kind of one day a week, but I'm mainly in Temple Bar, so I work there. That's like my job, like my solid income job. And then I obviously do like social media, like YouTube and stuff as well, and Instagram. I don't make loads of money off it, but it's a handy little side income. When I'm artist, I do a bit of depopping, but not that regularly anymore because I'm so attached to my clothes. What else do I do? I was doing a lot of styling last year. I've kind of fallen off the doing it consistently just because I'm trying to save money, and doing test shoots, especially as a stylist, can be really fucking expensive. So I've kind of also just I've been working more in the shop than I was last year, again to try and save, so it's been hard to do styling consistently. When I get a chance, I do some styling as well, so I guess that's my job. Someone said, what is your ambition / goal? I hate when people ask me this just because my lines are so blurred. I just don't know. Like I think I have some idea, but then again I just don't. But I guess short term anyway, like at the moment one of my biggest goals is to move away. I want to move to London, so I guess the biggest goal right now, like I don't even care really what job I do. I just kind of want something that's going to pay the bills to live in London, so that's probably like my biggest ambition / goal at the moment. Long term, I don't know, I guess I would like to do more social media / like modeling / like just being myself in front of a camera type jobs. I know I enjoy doing it, so I guess like I'd like to do that. But I also like being behind the scenes, so I'd like to do more styling and content creation behind the scenes without me in it, that type of thing. Definitely think long term I would like to have my own brand. I want to have loads of money to set it up because I've always been a real perfectionist. So I know like I did recently on my Instagram speak about possibly doing hoodies or something, but I don't know, I just feel like if I'm gonna put my name on something, I want it to be like what I want it to be, and I want to get a manufacturer, and I want to be able to pay people fairly. I don't want to ever have to do interns because I've been an intern and I'm not making anyone work for me for free. If I can pay you an intern wage or whatever, like minimum wage, like that works for me. But unless you're literally doing work experience in TY, I just don't want to have people work for me for free. I think it's complete exploitation, especially if people have a degree. Yeah. yeah, definitely want to have a brand eventually moving on from there. I just want more life experience before I go and slap my name on something and call it mine, because I think if I did something and it failed, it would probably destroy me and like you'd probably never see me again. So I want it to be perfect. I know nothing can be perfect, but like I just want to be able to be financially stable enough in case I don't think it will go wrong, but I just want to be financially stable, you know. I guess those are my long-term goals. I do think I'd like to do some like celebrity styling as well. Like I'd love to dress someone for a red carpet. Like I think I'm better at that. Not that I've done it before, but I think styling wise, like dressing people for stuff like that like suits me more than like editorial does. So yeah, but I do like editorial styling as well. So I guess I'm just rambling here, I'm sorry. And then I got a few which I'm gonna kind of end on. Like there's 3 that are quite similar, so I will, I guess, answer all of them. So one says, how do you get out of a rut / how to get motivated? And someone said, how do you keep motivated and productive? In terms of getting out of a rut and how to get motivated, I think it's really important to take care of yourself. And that sounds fucking so cliche and like bitch obviously, but I think when you're in a rut, it can seem like the hardest thing in the world. And I think like nobody speaks about, like everyone's like, oh, take a shower, shave your legs, but like no one speaks about how hard those things can be when you're in a rut. If you're feeling really depressed, or like how hard it can be to get up and go to the gym, or like how hard it can be to do all of these things that everyone tells you to do. But I think it's important to definitely set yourself a goal for each day when you're in a rut. Say if you're like really low, give yourself 3 things to do the next day. And I would start with things like, yes, have a shower, eat a healthy meal, go for a walk. One thing that I definitely think is so important as well, and I know I speak about it on my channel all the time, journaling, mind mapping. Like I think it's the only way to make sense of your thoughts and the only way to get things that you're feeling in your head out of your head. So the way I journal is, I actually have a thought-provoking one now, but I still just tend to like write my own thing. So normally I'll say like what I've done in the past week or on that day, what's upset me, what's made me feel good, like how different things are making me feel. And it's just a way, because then you can just like, it's out of your head, you can make more sense of it then. And then I always try to finish on like a positive note and say like what I'm going to do the next day to make me feel better or whatever, or like what my fears are, like what my goals are, blah 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 blah. So that would be like how I would journal my thoughts. And then I have a separate journal which I call my gratitude journal. That's what it is. And what I try to do is, I don't really do it every day, but like at least once or twice a week, or maybe 3 or 4 times a week, I try to write down 3 things that I'm grateful for in that day. And then I have a little book of affirmations which is by Louise Hay, and I write 3 affirmations in it that kind of relate to what I'm feeling grateful for, because I just think that's a really good way to keep your mind in a positive space and manifest your dreams. Definitely journal. I think when you're in a rut, as I said, it can just help you make sense of like the thoughts that are going on in your head. Other than that, because like obviously I'm just like looking at it here, it's like how do you get out of a rut? I also think when we're in a rut, like you tend to just want to be alone and put people out of your life, but I think it's really important to spend time with people that love you and that you love, because that just gets it out of your head as well. I feel like I'd love to do a whole video on this, so maybe I will. I think for how do I keep motivated and productive, I personally feel like I fall back into a rut if I'm not motivated and productive. I feel like I'm very driven person, goals driven person, like so if I don't feel like I'm achieving something in a day or in a week, then I start to feel down about it. So I know, even if it's like a small victory, like even today, like I literally had to drag myself to the gym, but I went and I felt better for it. So I think what keeps me motivated is like knowing how I'm going to feel after being productive. So yeah, I think that, like, get what I mean? Like what keeps me motivated and productive is knowing how I feel when I'm motivated and productive, because I know how I feel if I'm not motivated and productive. So I think the things that keep me, because I've been on both ends of the spectrum. I've been completely lazy and like waster, and then I've been really productive at other times. So I always just try to think of how the end result is going to make me feel. I use that with the gym every single day, and I honestly think it's like the biggest metaphor for life. Like I never ever want to go to the gym, but as soon as I'm there, I'm like, I'm so happy I did this. So it's the same with most things as well. Anything you don't want to do that you know you should do, always feel better for just doing it. So you know what, Nike were on point with that slogan, just fucking do it. Other than that though, I do think like obviously getting like good enough sleep, eating eating healthy, like that kind of thing just all keeps your brain in check. Try not to drink too much, like don't go on a mad one every weekend, because that just like obviously like fucks with your brain. So yeah, and I think also like drinking and like partying and going out too much can really get you into a rut that can be really hard to get out of, because then you just end up drinking and partying and stuff like way more. So yeah, avoid partying where you can. Don't get me wrong though, have fun though too. And then I actually really like this question to finish up on. So someone said, how do you live your best life, or just make your life more lit in general? I love that. How do I live my best life? I feel like it's very similar to the like staying motivated thing. I think one of the biggest things I found lately to living my best life is cut comparison, cut out people that annoy you. Like I know people who have people muted and still watch their stories. Like if someone annoys you, cut them out. If I mute someone, I forget they exist, and it's amazing. Don't get me wrong, sometimes I do like watching people's stories that I have muted, but not every day. Like you have someone muted for a reason, you know? And like the same with like comparing people, like because I just find like comparison is the thief of joy, and that's why I feel like since cutting out, I don't know, like talking about other people, or like comparing myself to other people's Instagrams, comparing myself to other people's like achievements, like I'm so much happier and I'm like living my best life so much more. And I honestly think so much more things are coming my way like since, because I'm not focused on anyone else, I'm only focused on myself. I just think you waste so much time comparing yourself to other people's lives. And I think as well, just like live in the moment. I know sometimes it can be hard and like scary, like especially if I know you're like saving or something, because you can just be like, oh my god, I can't do that because blah blah blah. But I've kind of figured out, like I used to be like really careful and like strict on myself with money, like especially when I was like in college and really broke. But I think what I've realized in the last few years is like what goes around comes around. Like, you know, if there's something that you really want to do in a moment and you feel like you'll regret not doing it, but you're worried about like, I don't know, like money or like getting home or like transport or something, just do it, because I just feel like that shit always like figures itself out. Like I know that's how I live my best life. Like what did I even say there? Like don't compare yourself, just do things that you want, you feel. I don't know, I feel like living your best life, just go with what your gut tells you. I think your gut feeling, like people don't talk about your gut feeling enough. Like your gut feeling is there, and I don't think it's ever really wrong. So just go with what your gut tells you. And as for making your life more lit in general, surround yourself with good people. I think keeping like mentally, physically, everything balanced is going to make your life more lit in general. I think like when people hear like, oh, make your life more lit, they instantly think like partying and stuff, which is like obviously like it's a good time, it's lit, but personally I feel like half the time it just makes me feel shit. So yeah, I think just live a lit life, surround yourself with good people who want the best for you, and follow your gut. Maybe I really like the questions on motivation and like living your best life, but I've literally been talking for like half an hour now, so I'm like trying to wrap these up really quickly. So I'm gonna leave it there, but let me know if you would like a video on like more of that stuff. I guess I would have to like map it out more as well, because I guess this is just like Q&A, so they're just literally like rolling off my tongue and like my head. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there for now. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I actually really enjoyed those questions. I loved that also, like the last time I did one, I feel like I had so many questions that I was like overwhelmed. I loved that those questions were like, there wasn't as many, but like they were really nice questions. So thank you that everyone left to everyone who left a question, and thanks for watching. If you're not already, be sure to hit subscribe, leave a comment, let me know your thoughts, and I shall see you in my next video.